Yeah. I mean, just looking at the lesson we've got up here on the screen, and I was going through it last night, but assets equals liabilities plus equity, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and when I tried accountancy at school, it was very dry
Mm.
and rules based and almost bureaucratic in nature. But when I listened to your lesson here about, as you say, valuing companies, on the buy side potentially, and just making linkages with other aspects in life that brings it to makes it real for you in terms of getting these concepts. I almost found myself enjoying the subject, and then learning as I was enjoying it, and experiencing your very sort of authentic and witty teaching style, which we've got up here on the screen.
Yeah, I've got to interrupt you. I just don't believe anybody who says when they learn accountancy they're enjoying it. Let's keep this real. But let me teach you. I can teach you a balance sheet right now. If you look at that equation, it's ALE, right? Ale. I call it the beer equation because that's what they call beer here. Ale. Assets, liabilities, and equity. Well, you can do a balance sheet for yourself right now. Assets is everything a company owns, right? So what do you own right now? Do a list of everything you own, Peter. Liabilities is what you owe. Well, what do you owe, Peter? Take everything you own minus everything you owe. What's left? Well, that's the equity. That's it. When I do that calculation, I get very depressed. Add up everything you own, subtract everything you owe, what's left? That's a balance sheet for a company. That's all it is. Everything the company owns, the assets, everything the company owes, the liability, and the net figure is the equity. So it's that. That's all a balance sheet is. And a cash flow statement can be the confusing one here is the income statement. But we don't have time to do that right now. But yeah.
Yeah, Jhan, thank you so much. Very powerful insights there. And there were a couple of questions here as well. Let's just pick those up as we go. Undergrad finance degree. Here's a good question. Would you recommend a CFA versus an honors in continuation of that finance degree?
Honestly, I would. I 100% would. Why? Because of that international recognition and the rigor. I will say this for a fact, that doing my CFA was the hardest qualification I'd ever pursued. It's just rigorous, man. There's a lot there and it's broad, right? So if you do an honors program, first of all, if it's not from a top tier one entity, right? Unless it's from one of the famous, no one really knows what's in your honors program. Because if you got it from Wits or Tux or UCT or Stellenbosch, yeah, they're all slightly different, aren't they? They're going to all slightly different focuses, different perceptions of quality, blah, 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 blah. Also, it's quite expensive. But if you do the CFA, you're not going to be paying as much in terms of the qualification. However, that's with money. What you will be paying with a lot is your time. Well, what that will give you is the first step in the international sort of recognition ladder, right? Which is what the CFA is. So if you have any sort of international aspirations, Naledi, then I would suggest maybe doing the CFA instead of an honors program. Obviously, that's, sometimes people want to just do an honors or master's because, hey, it means you're smart, right? Trust me, I would try to do a coin toss between us, honors student and a CFA level 1 student. I would always choose the CFA level 1 student because I know that he would have passed either because he's crazy smart, or he passed because he's crazy hardworking, right? You got to be one of those two things to pass CFA, either crazy smart or crazy hardworking, right? And I would like either of those attributes, that's for sure. And I know that Naledi in Potchefstroom, who did that, well, you got a qualification that is even recognized here in London, in New York, and in Shanghai. So you just got to ask yourself, Naledi, personally, which is more important to you, right? I think that's a personal question, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant.